So what happened yesterday? So yesterday I was happily browsing the internet, wasting time. I was looking at the news that WinUp is finally open source, or not open source, but the code is free to use. And then I came across this post by Namit Kobayashi. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. So he published introducing MKHD program that downloads all the wallpapers from Marquis Brownlee. So if you don't know Marcus Brownlee, it's a content producer or influencer, a techno influencer. So he produces videos related to mobile phones reviews, also electric car reviews, smart watches, and also AI or technology-based reviews. So he's a very popular influencer. So for example, here in Twitter, in X, he has 6.3 million followers. So he's basically like a god in terms of promoting or destroying a brand when he's doing a review. So yesterday he published his mobile app called Panels. So right now we are looking at Google Play. So this is the app. It's been downloaded as right now close to 50,000 so 15,000 downloads. The app has been reviewed close to 1.2 or 1,200 reviews. It's sitting right now at 1.66 score, so a very low score in the reviews. If we take a look at the app, we see a very clean UI design. I do like the drawer. I do like the search, the category search by color, search by categories, collection, singles. Looks very nice, to be honest. I do like the interface. I like the overall layout and clean design of this application. What people are saying in the reviews and also in other websites is that things that they don't like are related to the subscription. So if I scroll down here a little bit, they are complaining that they have to watch two ads for downloading a standard definition screen or a wallpaper. And if you want to access the higher resolution or the UHD, the 4K resolution of that image, you have to pay or to subscribe to a monthly or year subscription of close to 12 euros a month, $12 a month, close to 34 euros a year. So it's a very expensive, once again, close to $15 a year, very expensive service to be able to download images. And again, also one of the complaints that we're going to see in a minute, and the reason behind Namit of creating that script, is that he is basically saying that one of his motives is that Marquis is taking a cut of 50% or 50% commission of all the revenue that's generated from the artist. So in other words, if I make an image, and that image, the price for that image is $10, he's taking half of that commission, half of that price. So the $10, so only $5 are going to the artist. So once again, the content or the wallpapers that are published, most of the images look to be AI generated. Again, 3D photos that were altered on Photoshop or AI altered. So again, that depends on your preferences. For me, I don't use this kind of service. I normally stick with or use a plain black screen or use the default wallpapers available on the device. So let's see what is the fuss about it. So once again, Namit created this script for downloading all the images, one shot, everything, without having to pay anything, without having to pay a dime. So if we open the repository and look at the code, by the way, he provided a Python and also a JavaScript file to download the images. We see that it's a very small and simple script for, once again, just going through a JSON file and downloading the images, fetching and downloading the images locally in your directory. So again, very simple. So what's going on? So what's happening here? So if we open the URL that he's using, this Google bucket or Firestore storage, Google storage, it's a bucket. We're going to see that in this JSON, gigantic JSON, so it's close to, let's see, oh my god, it's huge, close to 3,654 lines. The images are listed as standard definition and HD definition, meaning that if you go free and watch 2 ads, you get access to the standard definitions, and if you pay for the subscription up to $50 a year, you get access to the HD image located here. In other words, you have access to everything. Everything is available. So I won't open the images again, because those, even though they are public, it's the content of one artist, so I don't want to share that in here. So that was caught my attention. It was very interesting to see how, I don't know, the creator of the script, he didn't share how he came to that conclusion. I'm gonna guess that he was listening to or doing like a pen test of that application. He listened to the network requests that were from the client, so from the mobile device to the cloud. He probably, I'm guessing that he noticed that the cell phone was making requests to this bucket, again this bucket file. So this file, the static file, that it's basically hosting or hosting all the images in one single file. So again, an epic failure on that front. So let's take a quick analysis on how things were meant to be used or produced. So if we take a look here, so let's see here at the top of this diagram, we have here the user subscription. So let's change here the colors just to make it a little bit cleaner. And the repositories or the images, let's change this to this one, this color. Let's change this to orange, and the user, let's make the user purple. So this is the way it's currently supposed to work. Users either they are subscribed, so they pay their $50 and they have access to all the HD or UHD images, 4K images available in the app. So they have access to all the images, or they have to watch 2 publicities, 2 ads, and being able to download the standard definition images, the low-res images. So that's the way that it's supposed to work. And here we have how it should work in a real-world scenario. So now in a real-world scenario, the correct way of doing this is by having the user contact or use an identity manager. We can have, like, for example, Azure Active Directory, Azure AD B2C, or we can have a Google or federated accounts, or use social login. So again, the end goal here is to validate the user identity and not allow anyone to access the content of our website. So identity manager. So if the user is authenticated, okay. If you're not authenticated, just bounce that request back. So you're not authorized. You're 401 or 403. Then if you're already subscribed, you exist in our database. If you exist, okay, we can fetch your we can have a service for fetching your user profile. And so let's mark these things let's mark these things here in green. And then we can probably have a database for hosting for holding the users. And yes, if you are a paid user, so if we confirm that you have a valid subscription, then we can have a service for fetching the UHD images, for fetching the high resolution images. And how this service is supposed to work is by using by signing each image individually. In other words, it's not to allow the user to access the entire content on the entire catalog, but by fetching individual images one by one. So for example, if I want to access the image that I like here of a mountain, I can ask the server to generate a one-time use only URL. That is, again, normally that URL will automatically expire after a couple of seconds or after a couple of minutes. So the user won't be able to share that URL with someone else. So that URL will automatically expire. And that's the way that's supposed to work. Then if you're not a subscriber, to also have something similar for generating unique IDs, unique URLs, but instead of hosting the images on the same bucket, to have a separate blob storage or bucket for hosting, for storing the standard definition images. And for thumbnails or for preview images, we can have a public accessible bucket. Yes, in this bucket we can have all the images that we want. That is fine. Again, that's just for the preview images. We don't care about if the user is subscribed or not subscribed, if he's paid user or not paid user. Again, this is just for holding the previews. So that's in an ideal world it's supposed to work. However, the reality of this application is that it's using the following approach. So let me just update this to this. Let's change this to green. So how the application is currently working. So the user that accesses the application is downloading a JSON file, so gigantic JSON files that have all the images in one single file, and also one big search criteria, and also a big search catalog or big artist and image catalog. In other words, he's downloading like the database locally on the user mobile phone without any restrictions. So pretty much everything is available at the get-go. Everything's available to the user. Search criteria, all the searchable items are available, or the images are available, or all the artists, or all the categories, artist names, everything is available in one shot. And by having the basically let's call it the database or the JSON with all the images, it doesn't matter if you're paid or not paid user, because once again you have access to the 4K images and also the standard images and to the preview images in one single file. So this is where things were done incorrectly. So again, I'm probably thinking that the person to blame here is not sure if the designer, or probably he was probably aware of the implications, but I'm guessing they cut corners here in order to improve the application performance. So by caching everything, so by downloading and caching everything in a single JSON file, everything was extremely fast, because the user was just browsing the images. So he was not fetching anything to the backend, so everything was already pre-fetched, and just downloading, just clicking on an image on a preview and downloading that image was probably less than 5 milliseconds. So the application is extremely fast. It's currently very fast because everything is like pre-fetched and pre-cached. So again, just big errors here. So huge mistakes by the designer, and I'm sure the architect that designed this application. Again, probably their intentions were not meant to harm anyone, but at the end we're gonna see that they're harming the artist, and they're probably also harming the community. And at least for me, it's very impressive because Marks Brownlee is it's a very prolific content creator. Again, he's very popular in YouTube, in Twitter. He's very professional on his videos. He has a professional recording studio. He has a very expensive camera gear set for recording his videos. He has a very expensive car. He has expensive operating. So he's basically running on the edge by having the latest technologies for pretty much everything. For everything. And I was kind of shocked of surprised that at least for this application, they just cut corners and tried to outsmart the logic. Again here, just to again, by having the correct approach, okay, validating the user, fetching, getting the URL. Again, probably you were just talking about here of, okay, probably adding a couple of milliseconds, probably 300, 400 milliseconds at the most. But again, I just don't see any problems of having a spinner or a loading icon for half of a second. I know that it's extremely it's impressive when you're actually using an application that looks like doesn't have any loading time, and that's what they achieve. But by doing that, the application has zero security. And again, so if we take a look at the code, here, this is the APK that was decompiled. We actually see that the application it's wide open. So obviously we have here the secrets for the Google File Store for the analytics, so for tracking the user interaction on the app. So that's the only thing that they are tracking, everything. So they are pushing a lot of things for tracking the end user. So that's the only thing that they are not afraid of pushing data to the backend by doing analytics. But for the application, in terms of the application itself, it's basically no security at all. So we see here that, for example, we have here the bucket, the database name, everything. It's located here, and all the content for again, all those repositories are available just in plain text. Again, they're hard coded on the application, hard coded, and also the API version is hard coded. So 2024 September 16, that's the API version. It's hard coded, and again, an epic failure. And what else I can add besides that? Again, they were using a so again, they are using a bucket, so blob storage for storing the JSON. So the JSON with the contents, so with all the contents of also all the search criteria and also all the URLs for the images. And they're using this service called ImageIX. So this is a provider for doing image transformation, resizing, cropping, and also for hosting those images on the cloud. So they have a CDN, so content delivery network. So again, very fast responses when users are fetching those images. Again, nothing bad there, but again, with the approach that they were using, instead of, so everything is public with their approach, and again, things that were also discovered, and I also discovered. So I created a couple of issues. So again, everything's available there. Again, people are now digging deeper, and they found additional image sizes, and also probably the raw images are also located there. So again, the artist are the persons that are going to suffer the most because their work is now public. So they were probably thinking, okay, this person Marx Brownie is very popular, and I will probably make a lot of money with his app by publishing my content there. But now, just they found that the content is publicly available, so no watermarks, not anything. So it's completely available for free. So sad story there. But anyways, I think that's it. I don't have anything else to add. Again, no security at all, zero security. No, there are no passwords. There are no content is not encrypted. What else? No, there is no obfuscation, so we don't have any hashing. The URLs are set to expire in 12 days, but in the community they're saying that there is a way to refetch those or resign those URLs. So once again, basically everything fell apart, and a big failure. Thank you. Have a nice day.